said, but I can tell it made you blue. And you wear your heart on your sleeve right where mine is. For you.
Welcome to the American Fork Podcast, where we vibin' for shizzle and our eyebrows is on fleek.
Eyebrows is on fleek?
Our eyebrows is on fleek.
Is that where you cut like part of your eyebrow?
No,
Shave it?
I don't know what it means.
Oh.
But that's the intro.
Is that a thing?
Yep.
What is that thing where they shave a little? I thought it was just like some people got a scar or something.
I think they partially support people with cancer.
It's everyone,
but not
everyone
fully.
trying to be like Charlie Puth, who actually has a scar right there.
Right. Well, no one has any idea what's happening right now because I have not introduced anybody. My name is Jeff, and I am with Phil, who looks 3 notches more dapper today than usual. He's wearing a shirt.
That's right.
Hi, Phil.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm very good.
That's a very good answer. Jake is diagonally from me. Hello, Jacob.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi.
Guys, everybody.
Hi, Jake. Hi, Jake.
Hey.
Hey, Jake.
Hi.
Hi. And then to my right is Beagle. Sexy as ever, sitting back in his chair. Okay, he's not a freaking clown. Beagle, how's it going?
Maybe I am.
Maybe you are.
Listeners don't know that.
That's true. He has a red nose and big shoes. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Pretty good.
He's got like a hairdo of somebody I can't put a pin on.
Dean. James Dean?
James Dean.
Amy got like this. There's something called like girl curl. Like it's like a method of doing hair, and you just
Sounds
you
like
get
an
your hair
STI.
wet. You know, you take a shower, and then you dry your hair with like some like towel, and it's like specialized for this.
And it curls your hair.
And you don't like rub it in. You literally just put it on your hair, and that's it. And then you wait like 5-10 minutes until it's damp, and then you take it out, and then you just put this not air conditioner, just hair conditioner in there, and then like scrunch it up, and that's it.
And it
gets
curls
you
your
all-
hair.
You don't do it or anything. It just naturally.
And that's what you did for yours.
Does it make you
Yep,
lose?
I learned from my little girls how to do my hair.
That's actually cool. Does it make you look skinnier too? Because maybe I should get it. Or does it just make your hair
Does he
curly?
look skinnier to you?
I don't know. I've never been fat.
Well, I'll
So
tell
I
you
don't-
what it's like after the show.
You have an ectomorph body type.
Correct. Yes.
Whatever. You've been fatter than you are now.
Yeah.
Right now,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
right now you're pretty lean.
You're vegan.
The fattest that I've ever been was after I took like antibiotics. I've only taken antibiotics like maybe 3 times in my whole life.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was like the first time I did it, I didn't know what to do. I just took it and then I ate a bunch of like burgers and fries. And apparently that's not what you do. And it messed up my stomach for like a year.
That's crazy.
And I would take probiotics. Like my stomach was just garbage for a year.
Well, with a garbage stomach in the past and super sexy looking hair and leaner than ever,
Yes.
Beagle
Oh,
is
yeah.
joining us. Okay, micro news. I literally chose this story from American Fork for one reason, because in the story there's a typo and it's hilarious. Okay. Says the life jacket loaner program at American Fork Marina. So there's this program where if you forget a life jacket and you take your boat to the marina, then you can borrow a life jacket and just return it, right? Kind of a cool program. Make sure people stay alive. But this is my favorite section. I know this is such a stupid story, but it's so hard to find stories from American Fork. But it says, in addition to the used life jacket collected at the lake commission also brought in $1 to help start the program. And it says $1, comma. So I'm thinking someone left out a few zeros after that one.
What's the article
At
from?
least 3 zeros.
This is from like the American Fork newspaper. I don't know what it's called, but I mean,
That's your news?
That's my news from American Fork.
You need
There
to
was a kid that just got killed. Well,
Yeah.
died in the car.
Well, no,
left in the car.
See, I knew someone would bring that up, and I
Oh, yeah.
was going to wait for that. And
It's
then I was
kind of
gonna-
bigger news.
I was going to
Yeah.
prove a point of why the hell would you bring that up? Like, that's terrible.
It is sad,
I
but
wanna
it
talk
is like
about-
when I was reading the article, it was like the last time this happened was like 3 years ago, and so it was just like, well, that's good that people have learned not
Yeah.
to do this anymore. That it's been that long, but still like really sad.
I didn't learn. I still leave my kids in the car all the time.
So for anyone that doesn't know, that's not from around here, there was a child that was left in a car for nearly 2 hours, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And died from heat
Yep.
exhaustion. The first thing that shocked me was the age of the child was
9.
9?
The initial report was 9, but then parents clarified that he was either 11 or 12.
But what the hell is a 9 to a 12-year-old doing in the car?
Maybe he
and
fell
not
asleep.
able to get
Maybe he
out?
was taking a nap.
Well,
or something.
they said he actually had some
He had some-
learning disabilities.
Yeah, he was disabled.
Is there suspicion then?
They said they're looking into possibility of like criminal.
Because I know the last time when I was reading the article, there was either the last time that was just a few years ago or a few years before that, like they were very suspicious. It was a little baby, and they were very suspicious that the parents did it on purpose.
Yeah.
But they couldn't find any evidence, and it didn't lead anywhere.
See, this makes me feel sad. I'd rather talk about how the life jacket program got $1 from the Utah Lake Commission to start it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about drowning children because they only had $1 to fund their program?
I'm just wondering
That's what you'd
if
prefer to talk about?
if this kid in a hot car had a life jacket, would he have been saved? Is my question.
or had $1.
It's
Could
pretty
have gotten out.
It's pretty crazy because I don't know if you've ever. I'm sure you have turned your car off, no more AC, and sat in it when it's like hot outside
For 30 seconds.
For even 30 seconds. The temperature just shoots up like
Yeah.
it's nuts, and it gets up to like what do they say 150, 160
Easy.
degrees in
or
your car.
hotter.
So it's pretty much like
It's an
an
oven.
oven. Yeah.
It
My-
wasn't the parents or family member who left him in the car either. It was someone who worked at the special care facility that the car was parked at. Went and picked him up from home and drove him there.
Oh, really?
Weird.
That's messed up.
Weird.
I'm
Yeah.
glad it
And
wasn't.
maybe just forgot or.
Yeah, when I hear stuff like that, it makes me sick to my stomach. Like
Yeah.
absolutely devastated.
Yeah. I'm just
So
glad
let's
they
keep
weren't
talking about it.
I'm glad they weren't in front of a strip club or something like that. That would have been really.
That would have been a lot.
Jeff's trying to find a
explain that.
comical outlook.
I always do. That's how I confront terror and horror. That's how I
Comedy.
confront
But we
death.
shouldn't do that. We should soak in the sadness of
Yep.
it.
It's the best way to deal with turmoil is with comedy.
Yeah. Let's just cry for a few minutes, I think. That's probably a good way to do this. Should we continue on, or do you want to talk about what the kid looked like and like what he was
No.
wearing?
Insert sound clip of crying now.
It's sad.
Okay, fine. All right, Utah news. I'm going to play this game. I found an article at Deseret News that said a few of the celebrities who can't get enough of Utah. You ready?
Post Malone. As
Oh,
well.
I don't
okay.
know half of these guys, so I thought we could turn
We
this
should
into
just
a little
like guess, because I could probably
Yeah,
guess.
Game.
you.
Well, it's not like a concise list. I'd have to scroll through the whole thing.
I could guess a
Wait,
couple.
are you reading like an entire list of like?
This is like their names are bolded up. Okay. So I'm just going to go with the
all
first
right.
one, and I'm going to butcher it because I don't know half of them, but I knew you guys would.
Ty Burrell.
Kristen Chenoweth.
Chenoweth.
That's what
Really?
I said.
Who's that?
I don't know.
She's I don't know, she's probably in her 50s, kind of a petite blonde actress / singer. Mm-hmm. Very
She
good
sang with
opera
the
singer.
Mormon Tabernacle Choir. So there's a bunch of them. We don't have to dwell on any one of them. Robert Redford. That's pretty obvious.
course.
Can you
on
can you just
Sundance?
do like the more famous ones that people would know?
I don't know most of them, so I don't know if I know the famous ones. Like Ty Burrell.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's Phil from Modern Family.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
He owns a bar downtown. Have you ever been to the X Bar?
He lives
No.
here.
Oh, yeah, I have.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
bought
say. like,
ammunition across the street from it too. I mean,
I mean,
I've been to the X Bar. Michael Pena. I know that guy.
Yep.
You know who
Is it-
he is?
wait.
from Arrested
So-
Development, right?
Amy told me that
No,
he's a
that's Michael Cera.
Scientologist.
Yeah, he is.
Is that okay?
Yeah, he is.
Michael Cera.
Because I couldn't find anything to like really back that up.
Yeah, he is.
He's
the
so good in Narcos.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
Jacopo from.
He was good at. There was a movie that he did with Jack Gyllenhaal about two cops.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake.
There's
Jake-
another.
Sorry,
Oh,
Jake.
I thought there was another
Sorry.
one.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I was like, there can't be that much sex.
and he's in
World.
Ant-Man.
Count of Monte Cristo is what it.
Yep.
he
Yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah.
Jacopo.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a great
No.
actor.
he is.
No, that's not him.
Yeah, don't be racist, Jake. They don't all look the same.
That's not the
Actually,
same.
I don't think. I think that is a
not him?
different guy. Yeah.
The two roles they named out on this was Ant-Man and Shooter.
Yeah.
He was in Shooter. I think he was the spotter for the
Oh.
guy, right?
I don't remember.
I only watched that
Shooter.
once. I did like it, but
Yeah.
been a minute.
Next one, pretty obvious, super famous dude. I even know this guy, Post Malone. Every time a Post Malone song comes on and my kids are singing to it or something, I always say, "You know why you like this song so much, right?" And they're like, "Because he lives in Utah." That's what I always say. I always tell them.
Talks about the Utah snow.
He does.
Is that what
I like his
post
songs.
Is that what Post Malone means? Is Post Carl Malone?
I don't
He
know.
apparently he likes Karl Malone, but apparently he loves like the NBA, and he just put like into like a
Yeah.
name generator, band generator
Like-
name, a bunch of like NBA names, and that's what it.
So
Oh.
Have you ever
Carl
done?
happened to be Carl Malone last name from Utah?
No, like, have you ever gone
It's Post
online?
Malone, yeah,
Right.
because Malone
Took
was
the name from
famous
Karl
for
Malone.
the Post.
Yeah. But have you ever gone online and typed in, like, what's my gangster name? And, like, you type in your name and then it generates it. It's like a name generator.
Right.
That's where he got Post Malone from.
Yeah, just
apparently.
wondering why it just so happens that it's from the mailman, Carl Malone from Utah Jazz, and he lives in Utah.
I mean, Malone's a last name from all
It's
over.
a pretty big name
I don't even think Carl
in
Malone.
basketball.
Right.
Yeah. He lives here. Apparently shops at Dan's up on Highland Drive.
Dan's is sketchy as hell.
That's a grocery store, right?
Yeah, it's a grocery store in Salt Lake. Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade, yeah, basketball.
Correct.
He's a
he doesn't
b-ball
live
player
here though.
Well,
oh,
hey,
he's fond of it. This
he's
is
fond-
what the list is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He just bought a membership or ownership, part ownership of the Utah Jazz.
Oh, cool. Is he he's some of the new owners then? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Are they doing a good job? I know nothing about it. So
They were injured. They got injured during the postseason.
the
and so-
owners did?
No, the players.
Are the owners doing a good job? I don't care about
Oh,
the
the
Jazz.
owners.
Yeah,
They haven't really. They haven't done much yet.
yeah.
So
their
it's kind of a
first
wait
year.
and see. Yeah, it's kind of a wait and see.
Okay.
It seems like they're making good changes, but yeah.
Okay, I like them just because they're here. Thomas Rhett, Lauren Atkins. I don't know who they are.
Lauren Atkins sounds familiar, but
Okay, this one surprised me. Blake Lively and her husband Ryan.
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds.
that makes sense actually.
Really?
Yeah. Did you hear? So the movie Deadpool that came
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
forever ago. The Broovies downtown.
Oh yeah.
They put that on. Do you remember this?
Uh-huh.
They
Yeah, we
cer-
talked about it, didn't we?
I remember
On the
this
podcast?
because of the
Probably.
podcast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We probably have talked about it, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds supported them in the lawsuit, and they won.
Yeah, and Trent
So-
was upset about how much money Ryan Reynolds gave because it wasn't like that much money.
Yeah, but it's still
It's
pretty
like
cool.
$3,000.
or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is cool.
It's like
Anyway.
11
So like if you got
hours of a-
involved, like if you're a
attorney's
celebrity
time.
and got involved in like every lawsuit that you came across from like friends and stuff.
You're not that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems like a waste of time.
Yeah, and I think usually they ask like an accountant, like, "Hey,
What's-
how much money should I spend
Right,
on this?"
right.
They're like, "Let's do $4,000."
or their agent.
What's funny about
Or
it
their
is
agent.
like
What's the
I don't
best
even.
for
I've
social
watched
media?
that movie. I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
I do not like even this part where they say like, "Oh, you can see it in this spot." Like you have to be like
Going
focused
for it.
on it because it's really quick when it
Right.
happens and everything. It's like if you're not like looking for it, you're gonna miss it.
What was it? What are we looking
It's
for?
just
the
a-
butt part or something?
Yeah, you can see his ass for like a very brief second, and it's like really dark because it's when the building is like burning down or whatever. When he burns up and like his skin becomes all messed up.
And what was it? You can't drink.
You can't have alcohol.
You can't have alcohol
Where there's
Where there
nudity.
is nudity.
in a film.
Oh,
Yeah, which knocks down like 3 business.
Which I mean,
ideas.
if you want to do that at a bar, kind of makes sense. Like there's some reason there, but nothing's happening in a goddamn theater.
wait. So you can't drink in a
freaking
strip
movie.
club?
Correct. Well, you can't. So you can, but they can't get nude. They have to have like tapies and stuff like that.
So you
If-
what?
If you go to a nude bar where it's complete full nudity, no alcohol.
Really?
I
But
don't know.
it's kind of silly just all around because it's like you know people drink before they go places. Like they
the pregame.
Yeah.
pregame before they go to bars. They pregame. Nobody's showing up to a strip club
Sober.
sober.
Yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah,
I
So
wish
it's
just
That makes a lot more sense.
If I ever went to a strip club, I would show up sober.
that's true.
Jake,
I mean,
I
if
don't
you're,
want-
if you're gonna go to a strip club,
I
you
don't
might
want.
as well
I don't
go.
want two sins in one. I just
You might as well go.
Jake
all out.
did go. That's how he got in. Was with his temple
It was a
recommend.
bar.
I wish we had an expert on strip clubs like Trent here.
Oh
but
yeah,
then
he could tell us all.
Phil
Like,
pissed off Trent, and now he won't show up.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
fine. Whatever.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't really talk
well,
about it on
I
air.
told him that there was volleyball going on, or no,
Yeah.
what's that thing he plays? Softball.
Yeah. Anyway,
And
we
he
can't
was
really
like,
talk.
"Oh,
We can't
I'm
talk
out."
about it on the air, but we'll tell you after the show.
Yeah.
Anyways, so moving on to national news. This is really I choose the stupidest news stories, so I'm sorry guys, but this is you chose me.
It's your turn.
Junk food day is coming up, which I know your wife celebrates like every day in existence, but this one
right now. What is this?
it's a news story from the nation.
National news.
So
This just got like way personal.
no, Phil's wife celebrates
Which
like
your
the
wife
random
loves junk food every day and eats it every day.
I get it. I was a little confused because Crystal doesn't eat any sugar ever.
No, but she
No, Jeff's
celebrates the days, the random holidays,
Like the national days.
Like
Yeah.
talk
of the
like a
year.
pirate.
Yeah,
but-
yeah,
So-
I get into
So that's the
some of
one
that
she
stuff, but-
wouldn't celebrate because it
okay.
has sugar.
See,
but
don't
I
know-
get what you were saying.
I don't know your wife that well.
Yeah.
So this lays out decades and what junk food came out in those decades. And it starts out with the 1940s. Does anyone want to throw a crazy idea of what came out in the 1940s?
Big hunk.
1940s, Babe Ruth.
Candy bar? Is that what the question
Okay,
was?
well, I've got
Just
candy,
candy.
I got a soda here, and I got chips.
In the 40s?
I swear to God, you guys are not going to get this. I'm just gonna
Drink,
tell
I
you.
would imagine
No.
Sprite or 7-Up.
Lays.
I'm going to say Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Really?
In the
Mountain
40s.
Dew. Isn't that crazy?
What?
Yeah.
And then next, one's a candy bar, one's
One's
something
a
else.
candy.
Yeah,
So-
I would say Big Hunk.
Skittles.
No.
Oh,
it
dang
melts in your mouth, but not in your hands.
Reese's Pieces.
That's not their saying.
Oh,
Isn't that Milky Way?
It's
M&Ms.
M&Ms.
Oh, M&Ms,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the chips surprised me too because what do gamers eat when they're playing video
Cheetos.
games? Mountain Dew and Cheetos, 1940s.
Oh, really?
Don't they eat Doritos?
Cheetos were on-
Cheetos.
I don't know. I don't actually play video games, so. I'm
Well,
just-
you're
I'm
you're
just-
on here talking like an expert. Like,
No.
what are gamers? As like your
Yeah.
hint.
Sorry, the intro should have been American Fork Podcast.
I'm not a
fake
gamer.
news sprinkled with honest and true opinions. Okay, 1950s hot tamales, Eggo waffles, Trix cereal, right? Crazy. 1960s,
I remember those commercials.
60s were the
That's-
Doritos. Go ahead. Sorry, Trix.
I miss commercials.
Yeah.
I don't.
I grew up like commercials were so clever when I was a kid. I remember like the little theme songs that they would have for some stuff,
yeah.
and that just doesn't exist anymore.
No.
It's kind
Can
of
you
sad.
can you sing some of them for
little
us
jingles.
right now?
When I go to the in a hotel and I'm like watching actual TV and commercials come on, it's like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah.
And now they have no shame. They just play like the same commercial 3 times in a row,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
like
Because they only have one sponsor.
yeah,
the
and
whole show.
5 listeners,
We've got a sponsor.
viewers. I mean,
Jake, whip out your notes. Go for it.
Peak. Sleep warm tonight.
It makes it sound like it gives you gas.
It kind of does.
No,
When
it
you're on a
doesn't.
hike and you're eating
maybe
food.
it does.
It's delicious.
I keep thinking of catchy slogans. for it.
Peter's face right now is so confused.
We're gonna basically wait till we get served papers to cease and
Yeah.
desist, and then we'll have
I
to
would
go
imagine.
back
We'll
and
stop.
re-edit 6 episodes to remove all the peak. Go ahead, Jake. We got another one. I know you do.
Peak refuel. Just burn all your other freeze dried meals.
That's right. Okay,
And
that's enough.
I got one more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Apparently, Grandpa only gives me the remote control after he's had his peak refuel. That's all.
You only said it once though. That's kind of
That's all I got.
it's kind of sad. Should be in twice at least.
All right.
Where were we? 1950s.
We're on to world news.
World
Okay,
news brought to you by Peak Refuel.
World news. So this is obviously 100% true, but this brings up a little bit of a topic. So this is from a website called scientificamerican.com, which
Yeah, I've been on
is
that
that a
one.
real thing? I just
Yeah.
found it today.
I've only seen like a few articles from them. There's so many like scientific daily, scientific.
It used to be
whatever,
a magazine, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is a magazine?
It's kind of like Life magazine.
Did they have centerfolds of like modern scientific things?
Yeah, that you just pulled out like equations.
Oh.
They just fold it out and
That
like
is so sexy.
everything Einstein ever wrote, just all the
Like
numbers.
a whole chalkboard.
Yeah.
And a fold out.
Yep.
This article says Star Trek's warp drive leads to new physics. And honestly, that's all I wanted to bring up, because I wanted to bring up a concept of and name out certain things. Like in science fiction, I really wish Mike was here, but Jake really pissed him off, so he can't show up. But anyways, so science fiction almost always comes up with these ideas first.
Yeah.
Or fantasy or I'm thinking of like, anyway, and then it comes to reality, like FaceTime. That was a real thing that you could sit on your watch and
Star Trek?
FaceTime with someone and talk to them or
Ninja
that kind of
Turtles?
things. But what kind of things in Ninja Turtles? What was it?
Well, yeah, they had like a
FaceTime.
watch on the FaceTime.
Oh yeah, they did in the 80s, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So that-
90s.
And really big rats that could talk.
Yeah, but like, what other technologies are there? Like right now, they're literally this article's going over how the concepts that are within the warp drive is getting people in the scientific community to think differently about maybe the way that real physics work, right? And I have this idea that like dreamers are these writers and these people that created like worlds and stuff like that in fantasy or in science fiction, and then it eventually becomes reality. And I just love that idea. And I thought maybe you guys would have other ideas like the video watch.
Like what would be coming
Like what
out
other
in the future?
No, what other technologies like existed way back
in
when
science
and now
fiction or fantasy.
yeah, and now they exist for real.
I know I watched like an episode of like I don't even know who or what channel. It might have been like a documentary, but they were talking about like inventions that were in Star Trek that are now there.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any of the
3D
ones that they
printer.
were talking about.
The replicator.
The replicator.
there you
If
go.
they ever do that, that's like the biggest game changer. It's like the internet times.
But was it just food, the replicator, or was it anything?
No, you could replicate. Yeah,
That's
you
true.
turn energy into matter.
I didn't even think about the replicator and 3D printers, but it's basically that same thing. You're taking
Yeah,
data.
3D printers is a bit like it. Yeah.
We wouldn't even have to podcast. We could just like say a couple words into a mic from our own homes, and the replicator would just like print it all out.
Create
for
the
us.
show for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's something from Star Trek or Star Wars? Isn't there something from Star Wars that's come true? Holograms? I don't know. Was
I
that
can
a-
tell you what's not come true
What?
is flying cars
That's true. That's a disappointment.
and hoverboards.
There are some flying cars.
They're just
Drones.
planes.
There was like this tweet that came out like I don't know, like 2 months ago, and this guy was like flying through New York. I don't know if it was for a movie or what, but he was flying through New York on this drone
Oh yeah.
and
They
just
have
going
that.
down the street.
Yeah.
Flying around, and this person pulled out his phone and like recorded it for like 10 seconds, and it was like he stopped at the traffic light. Then it kept
going.
It was just like, that's weird.
They do have the jetpacks. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
The guys
Yeah.
that they've got like rockets on their fingers and on their back. And
The problem with I don't think it'll ever take off, because the problem with it
Get
is
it? Take
you
off.
can't
Sorry.
you can't like you can't create like traffic that way. You can't organize space in that way. Like
how would
you
they
would
do
have
that?
to
You'd have
invent
to-
some other stuff for that to like really
right.
take off.
Right. You can't
it would be
populate
too
the airspace
disorganized.
so close to the ground and have it be controlled well.
well,
At least right now.
usually in movies or whatever, it's usually organized where like
Floating.
if you're going in this direction, you have to do it in this relative
elevation,
elevation in this like space, and then the other people are going like above them, like
It
perpendicular.
turns into like an air traffic control more than
Yeah.
traffic like we know it today,
Right.
like on the
Yeah.
ground. If only we knew someone that knew air traffic control, we could have them on the show.
What's
Right.
interesting though is like the technology that they're coming out with cars now, where like cars will automatically brake if they sense a car braking. You get enough sensors around a vehicle that could fly, then it wouldn't even matter. You don't really need traffic. This
Yeah.
thing will know what's
Right.
around you and will guide you wherever you need to go.
I wish I had that on the way in today. Traffic was ridiculous.
Yeah.
all that rain.
Yep. So here's another thing that didn't come true that I'm disappointed at is humans transporting their bodies in tubes. Why hasn't that come true? You know, Futurama, how it shows it.
Like freezing them, you mean?
No. Transporting their body in
Cryogenics?
tubes. Like you're at the bank and you send your check to the teller in
Yeah.
a tube. Yeah. Like that. And you go out on the sidewalk and you stand out and a tube sucks you up and sends you to work, you know? Like that. Why doesn't that exist?
Doesn't sound very fun to me.
I mean, I went to
Jetsons.
Lagoon.
Is that what you're talking about? Jetsons.
Jetsons, I'm Futurama.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
sure
go out
there's
on a
more.
limb and say that that's never gonna be a thing.
You don't think so?
The amount of like infrastructure that would be required,
Yeah.
it just wouldn't be worth it.
Do you think Dyson's working on something? Because they seem like the company that would do that.
No,
I don't think they
I
are
don't
either.
think-
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I think we've murdered enough time. Can we end the podcast? Oh, no, we're not going to end the podcast now. Because tonight we have a very special guest, a man of many words and many opinions,
That's true.
and man who we have all known for many years. But do we really know him?
Do we?
Ooh.
I don't even.
This person is
deep.
Mr. Beagley. I actually wrote that down and didn't ask you if I could call you Mr. Beagley, but I just did.
We
He
did not
is-
agree on this.
He's a vegetarian, an ex-Mormon, and many other things, I'm sure we will soon find out.
Ooh.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Beagley.
Ooh, well, thanks for having me.
When you wake up in the morning, what gets you excited?
Well,
Keep it
so today.
PG 13.
Oh, no. Yeah, 13.
Wait, what?
Keep it PG 13.
Can I talk about having like a morning session?
Oh, you can make it rated R. We make all these
say it.
things
right.
explicit.
All right,
or
say
whatever.
it.
I didn't this morning, unfortunately.
Okay.
You didn't get up in the morning?
Or get it up this morning.
It did not get up this morning, unfortunately.
Oh.
But I typically enjoy sex in the morning. At night, it's just like exhausted from the day. But right in the morning, it's just like, yeah, okay, we can do this.
So that's
I
what
got
gets,
the energy for
This
this.
can happen.
I like
I'm
that.
not going to brush my teeth.
It gets you up in the morning.
I'm not going to brush my
No,
teeth.
you're definitely going to brush your teeth.
Oh,
That's
right.
just-
Of course.
right. Unless it's like a super quick. Woke up this morning. Kids came, as they always do, and like jumped around on the bed and on me. And then Cora, as she always does, goes and gets cereal ready for her and
For herself.
Doe. For both
And
her
her sister. That is awesome.
she like really loves like doing not like all cooking or anything like that, but that thing that she knows how to do, which is cereal and like, the milk and all of that. She knows how to do it, and she like is excited to do it every morning.
Can she pour a brand new unopened gallon of milk? Like,
Well, we don't have gallons of milk; we have liters of oat milk.
oh, okay. So it's not as heavy as a
No,
standard gallon.
I don't know how she would
My
handle a
my
gallon.
kids have a hard time not
Yeah.
spilling the milk.
Yeah,
Your oldest.
As do
you're
mine.
using an inferior.
Well, mostly my
milk
6-year-old.
product.
Yeah, it actually is inferior
Yet another reason
is
to
making
switch
us
to
fat.
almonds.
because almonds make milk.
Yeah, Beagle, if you guys didn't know, is a... So are you a vegetarian or a vegan?
Before we get into that,
Okay.
so
He just got to breakfast, bro.
Oh,
He's got
that's
to go
right.
through
Yeah,
his
exactly.
whole day.
Okay.
right,
I can't wait till we get to
especially
lunch.
today. On a normal day, it's just like, yeah, let's start talking about something interesting. Today, something
Oh.
very interesting actually
okay.
happened.
Okay. We're ready.
So, you know, I typically start dicking around on Twitter for a minute to see any like breaking news or whatever.
And this is on your phone? Is it preferred?
Yes.
Okay. I like to
And
visualize
then I have
what's going on.
I have a subscription to Washington Post, to New York Times, only because they actually own the Salt Lake Tribune, and I have membership there, subscription there, and so they do like a package deal now. So I was just like, yeah, screw it. Anyways, so I got like 2 notifications, and maybe it wasn't even from them. It was either from one of those or from Twitter about the new Dune trailer.
oh, yeah?
Oh, this is your wheelhouse right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have been waiting for 4 years, over 4 years, to see a Denis Villeneuve movie.
Denis, say his name again.
Denis Villeneuve,
Denis
Canadian
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
director.
He's the one that directed, what's those movies? Not Contact.
Land Before Time.
Arrival?
Arrival. He did Arrival.
And
I liked Arrival.
What else did he do?
Is he
He did
French?
Sicario.
Sicario.
Canadian French.
Canadian French.
The Terminal.
French Canadian.
The Terminal with Tom
no.
Hanks. Oh,
No.
no, he didn't.
Didn't go near that.
And he's like one of your favorite actors, right? Directors. That's right.
He is my favorite director. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hands down, everyone is garbage.
Did he do the? Did he do the other Dune? Or no, I'm
No.
thinking of something.
So
totally
you know
different.
what he did that I wasn't too fond of was Blade Runner.
Did you like the first one?
No, I
Exactly.
didn't even watch it.
If you don't, yeah.
Didn't like it at all. Didn't watch
The
it.
thing with Blade Runner is that so I I've watched the original and I watched that one. The original, there's tons of people who love it. It's okay to me. Like
Yeah.
there's certain things that I can understand why people like, but for the most part, it's just kind of meh.
Is that the Jeff
Yeah.
Bridges one?
No, Harrison Ford.
Oh, I was thinking
Harrison Ford, Ridley Scott.
I was thinking another one.
Or
Whatever
it might
Jeff
be
Bridges
Tony
was on.
Scott. It's one of the Scotts.
Yeah, for me. It was like super slow.
Yeah, but that's the original. Like
Is it?
that's the thing is that he had to make something that appealed to the fan base that already existed. So there had to be a certain pace to it that was kind of familiar. But he
Yeah.
stayed very true to that universe and to that storyline and everything.
Which is important.
Right.
I mean, I don't know the universe or anything, but it is important to contain yourself within the
Right.
universe and what's
Yeah.
going on already.
But he was mostly he was constricted by that. Where I'm sure if he wanted to do it his way, it would have probably felt a little bit different.
Yeah,
Right. You get too
pace of
creative,
it.
you end up with things like Jar Jar Binks and bullshit like that.
Darth Jar Jar.
I don't want to get too creative when you're in a universe, Anyway,
So,
sorry.
anyways, woke up, and so we watched the first trailer. We went and saw Tenet. Me, Phil, Jake, Devin. Wait, I can say your guys' names, right?
yeah.
Or
You
you
can say
guys-
our first names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you
I've
can
already
say
revealed-
Jacob Hiram Nelson all you want.
I've already
'cause
revealed
He's
my-
just spewed it all over the
My
internet.
personal Instagram.
Yeah.
Yep. We fucked up.
Just I wanted to clarify because even if you're just giving your first name, I don't know if you read this came out, I think it was yesterday, and we'll get back to Dune in a second. But they I don't know if guys know what Desnat is. Desnat?
No.
Desnat.
Nope.
Let's guess what that is.
okay.
Desert.
So you guys have no idea.
No.
I know a guy
You
named
guys live in
Desmond.
the heart of Provo. Well, you do.
Yes.
You live in
I live-
Utah County.
Yeah, in the heart of the northern heart area of the Provo
top
County.
ventricle.
Of Mormondom.
Desnet, is it Deseret Net News?
No, Nat.
Desnat.
N-A-T.
Is it internet? Desert internet.
Tell us what it is.
Desertnet.
Deseret Nation.
Oh,
okay.
Is what it is.
Is
What
it
does that mean?
gang?
Nation for
Is-
nationalism, Deseret for Mormonism.
Mormon.
So it's a
Nationalism.
concept of nationalizing the Mormon community.
Well, so what they mostly do is just troll people online. They're very like mean spirited towards like liberals, progressives, gay people.
So they're jerks.
You guys sound like a bunch
Right.
of assholes.
Okay.
This sounds like my kind of people.
They talk about like some of the more apologetic members will be like, well, we're just trying to teach people about repentance and get people to, and I've definitely met members online who are more like soft, I guess I should say, or more just kind of normal,
Not a hard hitter
tolerable?
like you.
well adjusted. But there are definitely a lot of members who are just like, they'll find a gay person on Twitter and just like hammer them. Like, you're going to hell, right? You need to go and repent.
So
blah, blah,
they're
blah.
idiots. Yeah.
Yeah, just assholes for
Yeah,
for all
I
intents
agree
and
with that
purposes.
term. Yep.
Anyways, one of the people was just doxxed yesterday.
What does that
Apparently,
mean? Doxed?
that means it's somebody who is anonymous. So they're all anonymous
Oh.
or pseudonyms, or most of them. I don't think
Right.
anyone's not.
And then they're found
maybe.
out.
But yeah, through apparently it was in the Guardian, so national news, that these investigators took into account the tweets that this person had made about like when he bought a house, or just like worked it together of all these events in a person's life, and aligned that to an actual person. The actual person is a guy in Alaska who is like an assistant attorney general in Alaska. and he said like very anti-Semitic things, very, you know, anti-gay, very bigoted, like just all sorts
is he
of
a member
crazy
of the church?
stuff. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
So anyways,
That's what I was trying to say.
going on right now is like he didn't give his name, he didn't give anything, just like events in his life. Anyways,
That's what I was
they
saying
found
several
out who he is.
podcasts ago. If you remember, I'm like, we say enough details.
Yeah. It's
that
not
someone
gonna
could just figure it out.
Yeah.
Yep, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
If they want to.
Or they could just ask.
Have fun.
They could be like,
In your case.
they could be like, who are you guys?
Although if they ever went down that line, I do wonder. I mean, I don't know. I haven't listened to like all the edits that you guys have done, but I imagine it would be pretty easy to figure out who the Holy Ghost is. I would imagine.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Maybe if someone knows our group of friends really well.
I mean, I guess it
yes.
depends on like the public information that's out there about like us as a group of friends, right?
Yeah. But the whole point is like, really what it is like, is somebody's employer going to like hire the FBI to freaking find out who the Holy Ghost is? Or are people going to be like, we don't care?
Right.
Yeah.
I think most people don't care. Out of the 3 people that listen, Jake's wife, Jake's mom, and Jake's mother-in-law.
Do you
None of
think-
them
Do you
And
think that they would
sister-in-law.
route any of us out to
No, they already know
the
who-
Oh,
FBI?
I'm sure we're eventually going to be ratted. I have no question about that.
Our business plan-
Anyways, so just a side notion about the doxing. Yeah, somebody can figure it out if they want.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
There's enough people that have a lot of time on their hands working on unemployment. I mean,
Like that map guy that finds out where movies were filmed.
from
based
Dora the
on,
Explorer.
I'm a map. I'm a map. No, the guy that like
Oh,
lives
yeah.
in this. We found that guy that was missing in California.
That's right. The self-proclaimed satellite imagery. I'm the map guy.
Satellite investigator. Or
That's
whatever it was.
what it was. A satellite image investigator. Anyways,
Interesting.
somehow we got way off.
No, that's fine. Dune.
Dune.
Right. So
Wow.
we
We did get way
No,
off.
wait, before you go there, I was just going to mention, which we've talked about before, that movie Don't F with Cats on Netflix. That's like right up the alley what you're talking about. Like these people on Facebook saw this guy torture some
Doxing.
cats, and like they organized this like worldwide community of like
Find him.
blogging
basically.
Facebook people, and then they're like, where did that pillow come from on his bed? What about that poster? Blah 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 blah. And they like
crowdsourced.
Yeah, they like crowdsourced tracked this dude
Right.
down before the police could, and
That's awesome.
it turned out that he killed a guy by the time they found him because he was
That's not
obviously
awesome.
freaking messed
Yeah,
up.
Yeah.
He started with cats.
Yeah. So if
Was it Stephen Avery?
no, it was like some Canadian model kid that was like an amateur model or something. Or not amateur, like semi-pro, I guess. Minor league.
What league did he
Minor-
play in? What league was he in?
Minor league modeling and cat slayer.
MLM,
AAA.
minor league modeling.
Anyway, sorry, let's get back to Dune.
Yeah. So we went and saw the trailer, Tenet. Me, Phil, Jake, Devin was there.
Right.
And that was literally the only reason I went there. I imagine I would have seen Tenet eventually, but literally the only reason I was there was like, I
To
want
see
to
the
see this
preview.
movie.
You were
I want
glued
to
to
see
your
this.
seat. You were glued to
freaking-
your seat when
yeah.
that trailer came on.
Anyways, and then the second trailer came out, and it was still like good, but I was just like, yeah, I've seen all this kind of stuff. You know, whatever. It's
Yeah.
a trailer. This third trailer
Blew your mind.
was like the first scene. Have you guys seen it? Yet?
I am,
No,
when
haven't
it came
watched
out
it.
today.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
No, haven't
First
seen
scene is just like, yeah, settling into like, just a normal trailer. And then the next scene is
I'm so excited right now.
the imagery in this movie is going to like visually is just going to be the most amazing freaking movie.
Ever. So we need to go see it in IMAX.
Does it look better than the one?
Yes.
The one.
The one movie that you will never live down ever.
But anyways, yeah, the images. I mean, people talk about like, have you guys read the books at all?
No.
No.
Seen them, watch the old movie, the TV series, anything?
I've
like,
seen
I know
pictures-
nothing about
played
it.
I've
the
seen
video
pictures of the sand monster on.
I know that when it says dune, it's talking about a sand dune. That's how.
It's a actual planet.
See, I don't know.
It's
But
a planet of dunes.
It's a sand.
Is there sand in the show?
It's only desert.
Okay,
Arrakis
see, I
is
know
just
that
desert.
much. That's it.
When does it come out?
Anyways, one of the things that people talk about about the books is just how the images and the creativity of the writer had about like just
Wait, was
objects.
Dune-
Like there's a thing called an ornithopter, right? And
Okay.
it's basically like
I know what you're getting
what
at.
comes to mind when you hear that word?
a flying carpet.
An ornithopter.
It's a carpet.
An orthodontist helicopter.
Want to know what I really thought? I thought about
Orthodontist.
a helicopter that only had one blade, like ornithopter. But orno, I don't even think means one. Like unithopter? Is that what you said?
Monithopter?
Monithopter?
Ornithopter.
Or a helicopter that sprays
Orthopedic-
pesticides. Isn't that a brand?
I was thinking like a helicopter with a bunch of legs.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Is it?
Well, I mean, the image that came to my mind when I was reading the book was just like, yeah, it's basically a bug looking. It's like a
Okay.
helicopter that looks like a freaking bug.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a,
okay.
like a dragonfly or something.
Like a big beetle that can
And-
like fly down and has a whole bunch
Yeah.
of legs on it. Okay. Yeah, okay.
kind of.
It transforms
And anyways,
into a
in the
robot.
very first trailer that we saw at Tenet, they showed like nothing about that. I was intrigued, obviously, but the moment the ornithopter shows up, I was just like, "That's it. That's like
that what
that's
you
the
envisioned?
image that I had in my head." It's like he took that image out of my head and was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to build this."
Okay.
And anyways,
you're
in this new
making-
trailer, there's like so many images that just is going to be visually amazing.
Okay, the Dune promotional department needs to hire you because I'm excited about it, and I literally know nothing about it, and I'm excited about this movie.
All I'm gonna say is that the trailer should have had a trigger warning about if your erection lasts longer than 4 hours after watching this. It should have had something like
Please
that because
consult a
I've been
doctor.
watching it all day, just like
So after you watched the Dune commercial, that's when you had your morning sesh.
no. I mean, that was my morning session
Oh, I see. Yeah, That
and
makes
my
sense.
afternoon quickie. I mean, I've been watching it all day. I've been hard all day.
It's got millions of views, 500,000 from one IP address.
Exactly. But yeah, no, loved
Nobody
it.
else even knows it's out yet.
Yeah.
Beagle's watched it every single time.
Indeed.
So
Well,
you're
then-
way excited about Dune.
Yes.
And when does it come out?
Comes out October
Ooh.
22nd.
Okay,
Nice.
let's go.
We'll go.
IMAX.
It's a date.
Yep.
It's a mandate.
Sushi and Dune.
Sushi Dune.
Sushi Dune.
I love it.
Right?
Sushi Dune.
So I
Indeed.
introduced you as an ex-Mormon vegan. We haven't talked about
yeah.
any of those things. Or vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Yeah.
Going slowly on the march to veganism. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What events took place in your life where you're like, no more meat?
So Amy's more into like diets and kind of fad diets than I am, but I've always been interested in like, whatever. Like if something makes me feel better,
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
So we've been on like paleo, we've done keto, just different fad diets. And so anyways, one Christmas, almost 2 years ago now. We went to a Christmas party and there were some people that we met there that
Yeah.
were plant-based and they were talking to us about it. And anyways, it was just kind of
People
intriguing.
were plant-based? Like
were-
they had leaves
plant-
instead
They
of arms?
only ate plants and they had done it for so long that they
weren't
had
plant
literally
people.
transcended in like they were plants.
They reached out to you with their vines?
They were vegetables.
And not the kind that just lay in bed.
No.
Quadriplegic or never mind.
Tommy Tomato.
Exactly.
Okay, so you met
It was VeggieTales come to life.
VeggieTales.
you met some people at a Christmas party that impacted you greatly.
Well,
Is
it
that
was
where you're
just
getting
it
at?
intrigued us.
Okay.
Yeah. It intrigued me, but Amy's the one that was just like, "Hey, you want to try
game?
this?" And we had talked about it before we met them about, going meatless one day a week or something like that, or
Right.
just, trying it out.
So those conversations, what was triggering that? Why would you have
Just to
that?
dry out different, because like I said, we try different diets.
Just try something else?
They wanted to save water.
That's that is
Another
known.
mostly it was like health. All of my brothers have rheumatoid arthritis. They all got it at age 36.
Wow.
I'm now age 36.
And you
And
don't
so
have the
there was
roomie.
just,
You don't have the roomie.
as of right now, no.
All right.
That's
The
good.
roomie, is that short for rheumatoid?
I guess.
Okay.
RA is what the
Oh, that
acronym
one. Okay.
in the nose
Roomie sounds better.
say.
I thought it,
But anyways, so my whole life I've had like this circulation issue
right.
where my feet and my hands are just like 5 to 10 degrees colder
Yeah.
than the rest of my body at any given moment, right? And I remember when I was, like, I don't know, like 16, 17, I was talking to my stepdad about it, and he was like, hey, you should see this guy at the ward. He's a doctor.
Yeah.
Maybe he can tell you some tips. And the doctor was, when I talked to him, he was just like, yeah, you should just take ibuprofen every day.
Yeah, that's
And I'm just
terrible.
like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
But when you say the ward, you don't mean the mental ward, you mean the church ward, right?
Or it's not in prison.
I don't even know the difference
Oh,
anymore.
gosh. I shouldn't have walked into that door.
Yeah, well, that's the next topic.
Anyways,
But
but ibuprofen every day is not a solution.
yeah, no, I don't like pills at all.
Yeah.
So if I can avoid them, I'll avoid them. So anyways, when he told me that, I was just like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I dealt with it. Every diet that I went on, there was never any change to that. Within 3 days of vegetarianism, I was just like, my hands, my feet are the exact same temperature as my body.
Wow.
First thing I've ever done where that was the result. And so I knew from that moment, like, this is definitely good for circulation.
Yeah. And it's good. Yeah. And if you're seeing that positive effects in 3 days, that's pretty,
Right.
that's pretty amazing.
Yep. Yeah, no, when we did keto, within a few days, I was like craving bread. Like, it was like a
Oh,
drug.
yeah. It's
Like
crazy,
white
huh?
bread to me was like cocaine.
Yeah,
Like,
Grandma
I need
Sycamore's
my
bread.
fix. And I thought for sure when I went off meat, I was like, yeah, I give it like a day before I'm just like craving meat.
Right.
And within 2 days, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever eat meat ever again. Like,
Is there any meat that you do miss? I mean, ignoring like,
so the way that I describe this, because me and Amy, we used to have this discussion a lot when we first went on it, because it was
Right.
like, it really was like, and we'll get into this maybe in a minute, but because I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I get into
Let's get into it. Let's do it.
a conspiracy theory
Why
about
wait?
the meat industry.
oh yeah,
But, it's not that I've looked anything up. It's just like stuff that I've thought about.
it just makes sense.
And just like, yeah, it doesn't make sense unless there's a conspiracy.
Right.
But anyways, we would talk about it a lot, because it was like coming out of like we've been lied to our whole lives, right? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't need meat to feel good. And so we would talk about it, and, we would talk to ourselves about like, do you crave meat? Blah, blah, blah. The best I could describe it, and it's very weird, but it's just the best I can describe it, right?
I'm ready.
I'm not gay,
Okay.
but I recognize like a very good looking man, right? Like Brad Pitt's a good looking guy.
Right. I heard he's
Chris Pine is a good looking guy in my opinion.
And their meat.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with meat. I can look at it and I'd be like, I recognize that looks good, and I recognize why people would like that,
Right.
but I'm just not
But
interested.
you're not going to take it.
Yeah,
But you're not going to stick your dick in that wagyu.
exactly.
Okay, I get it.
Like,
makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I wouldn't have done that before. And maybe if I did, maybe I'd still be a meat eater.
if you gave it a try. No, that makes sense to me though. It's like I see that this is appealing. And you can even say that about like other women. You're like, I see
Right.
that there's a beautiful woman, but
Right.
it's not like I'm going to go cheat on my wife.
Right, exactly.
It's like I can see there's this awesome
Yeah, that's
spiral
probably
ham.
It's probably a better way of putting it. Like I look at like a young, like an 18, 20-year-old.
Right.
And like 5-10 years ago, I would have been like, oh, she's really attractive. And now it's just like, you look really young and
So
immature.
when you say 18, 20-year-old, you mean from the 1820s.
They're like kids now.
Yeah.
Like I see
that's-
college
honestly,
kids.
it feels like you're looking at like a little kid.
Yeah, we're so old now because
an
I see
elementary school
college
kid.
kids and I'm like, they
Oh,
are
yeah.
like in elementary school.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
What is it is different for sure. I
Yeah.
ran into some people I thought were in high school and they were college age.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool.
You look and act the same.
That's savage.
And it doesn't help that they like
lit.
they're either at college or they're living at home and they're like 28 now
Yeah.
or 30.
People don't move out of their houses nowadays.
Yeah.
the housing market is freaking insane
It
in
really
Utah
is.
right now.
That's
Yeah.
another Stupid subject for later.
Yeah.
So you can
But anyways-
appreciate meat. You identify or you recognize that other people desire it for some reasons, but for you, it's like the benefits are exceeding like the desire to have it. Kind of like the benefits that I get from my marriage.
It's honestly,
exceed-
it's just like I wouldn't even say that. It's just a complete disinterest.
Right.
It's like if you came across like another religion
right
now, like, oh, that's cool. That's an interesting belief. I don't really give a shit about joining you.
right
Like,
right.
it's not on my mind at all. Like, I have my thing.
Yeah.
My thing works for me. Not interested.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool.
So what was the last piece of meat you ate?
Probably Chick-fil-A.
Probably that's a good one.
It is a good ending. That was a good send off.
Well, so what is a Brad Pitt piece of meat to you?
I don't know how to answer that.
Like you look at it, you're like, yep, super attractive.
I see what you're going. Yeah, chicken. Like a really good chicken, like R&R chicken, R&R barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
Or Chick-fil-A chicken. Like really good chicken is
Fried chicken.
really good.
What about like
Wagyu definitely is like, you know, there's a reason why
what
that's
celebrity
an award-winning
would a
meat.
prime rib be?
Yeah, I never really cared about prime rib.
Okay,
I've never
so-
really cared about steaks. I never really got into steaks until Wagyu.
Except for
is
Wagyu
delicious.
steaks.
Wagyu is definitely.
So Wagyu would be like
I used to love burgers.
Chris Hemsworth
Yeah. Probably.
Like
or
really good,
Liam Hemsworth.
really good looking, but you're just,
Like if
it's
if I
whatever.
met him in real life, you know, maybe if he was interested. Like if meat could talk to me, like if a Wagyu steak could like be like, "Hey, how's it going?"
So what about
Maybe.
You might
what
get his
about
number.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson? What kind of meat would that be?
See, I don't see the appeal. I like
Shrimp.
I like The Rock quite a bit, but I don't see the appeal like attractive wise.
I'm not saying he's attractive. I'm just saying he's
He
a
would
human.
be the freaking tomahawk steak.
He's just so
Great big
big.
one.
He's just so big.
Like a
I've never
tomahawk steak?
liked like big muscle. I've never liked that look.
Okay.
I've always liked the athletic look. I've always wanted the athletic look for myself.
So yeah. Okay.
I like it. So, Beagle, in addition to your vegetarianism, you also identify as an ex-Mormon or ex-Mo.
That's correct.
You put it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Although I guess I kind of hate that label because there's like a certain stigma that belongs to that label.
What
this
the
point.
ex-Mo or ex-Mormon?
Ex-Mo, I guess. Yeah, more.
I've never heard that until you told me ex-Mo.
Really?
I just heard ex-Mormon, not Mormon anymore.
Not ex-Mo.
Use
that-
not Mo.
Is that like a
No
common
Mo?
label, though? Like,
Oh, yeah,
people use that?
Ex-Mo?
Yeah.
Ex-Mo is
Oh, yeah.
common.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's
It's very
like bumper
common.
stickers and stuff like that.
If you type in Marvel ex-Mo,
Oh,
there's a-
not in a good way. I wouldn't say, or not necessarily.
It's like the generic X-Men.
there's a guy named Mo that lives in the school.
Most Mormons
Why
who
is
talk
guy-
about people who have left the church use the word ex-Mo.
Oh, do they?
But it also is like a label that people take pride in. You know,
I've
people
heard
that
I've
leave.
heard ex-Mormon
So it's
a lot.
I don't know. It's just a label that I don't really like.
I'm no longer Mormon, but the label I was always familiar with was inactive. That's the
You're-
one that I heard about.
Are you
Inactive-
still a member?
Inactive
officially?
technically, yeah.
Inactive is the gateway
So
to
wait.
ex-Mormon.
So Scientology didn't ask you to like remove your name. They didn't. They didn't even.
My theory is when I get
Broach
to
the
the
topic.
when I get to the pearly gates, I need all options available. Like whatever
Yeah.
the right
Oh,
answer
yeah.
is, I need to make sure I have a card for each one.
There
of
was
those.
a guy. There was a guy on my mission who literally was that. Like
Buddhism is
he
next.
had joined the Jehovah's Witnesses. He was a Catholic. He was a Mormon.
Yeah.
He was.
I totally
He was just
tease about
spreading
that.
out. You know,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
So at what point does it become an ex-Mormon? Is it when you actually get your name and your records taken off of the Mormon religion, or is it like because you stopped?
I mean, I
going,
guess
or what?
it's
At what
really
point?
just depends on your own personal preference.
Well, what was your personal preference? That's all I care about.
Oh, my personal
Yeah,
thing
like
was
what-
I didn't feel. So when I left, I had a meeting with the bishop, and I had never met this guy before, and so I wonder if it would have been different if I had grown up with this as my bishop or something. If the conversation would have felt a little different.
Feels
This
bad.
felt more like almost like missionary work on his part, where it's like, hey, are you interested in our church? Like,
Right.
felt very disconnected, not intimate at all. But yeah, I didn't feel the thing that I told him was that, because he was trying to convince me, like, hey, you can stay in the church because removing your name from the records is like a big deal. Just stay here. You don't have to live it necessarily, but keep your name here and you'll reconsider maybe. Like, this is a very drastic step.
Right.
And I was telling him, like, look, from my perspective, if there is a God and if Mormonism is true, right? And if I left my name on the record books and then just went off and dicked around and did whatever I want, when I get to him, I imagine it's going to be a lot harder to be like, well, I wanted to keep my name in.
Yeah. I want to keep my finger in this pie.
I wanted to look good
Right.
to you, right? But then I didn't really, I wanted to dick around.
Yeah.
I just felt like, coming across a God like that, I feel like he would have been like, no, screw you.
Yeah.
You didn't have you didn't have faith in your convictions. You didn't have confidence.
Right.
And that's why you did what you did. And so to me, I felt like I would have looked better. Like, if Mormonism ends up being true, like, no, I removed my name. If I, talk to him in Judgment Day, I removed my name. I really I did not see it anymore. It did
Right.
not make sense to me.
Right.
So
Brad Pitt was not appealing to me.
correct. I wouldn't. Mormons are way too.
I wasn't
and
committed.
clean.
What I meant was I wasn't committed. Like, you're not
It's like
committed
David
to eating meat.
Archuleta or just somebody who's like.
I want to catch anyone
Really
up
neat.
anyone up that doesn't know Beagle. I just want to put this out there really quick. So obviously Phil and Jake are both Mormon, right? We
We're
all
members of the
I
Church
believe
of Jesus
so.
Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah.
Oh wait, your name's not Mormon. You are
Do you
members-
guys still
okay, I
use
get
that
it.
term? I think
Mormon?
we've talked about this before. Yeah. Do you guys
I've
mind
always
that
had a
term?
hard time with it, but
Really?
Oh, really?
It's true. I get why you would.
No, I use it a lot on my mission because people just stared at us like so confused. If we're like, hey, we're from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as Mormons. Oh, Mormon. Okay.
Right.
And so it's
Well,
just
that's the thing that when they came out with that announcement of like, no, we got to stop using this word. I was just like, that's not really how language works.
yeah.
It's the same thing with like transgenders getting like cis gender and like,
Yeah.
all these terms out there. It's like, that's not how language works. Like, you can use it for sure. And if at some point, if it takes over, then it takes over. But language is a living thing.
Right.
You can't control how people talk.
Right.
What people associate you with you and the words they use to associate you with. It's a life of its own. You
An
can't
ocean.
control that.
It's
Well,
a tide. yeah.
I agree with that, but at the same time, it's a little bit like, so the church has always had its name. The name Mormons was given to it by other people, not by its own members. So in a way, and this is a rough comparison, so don't jump on my back for this, but like
Racist.
African Americans had names.
You're a racist. Just don't even finish.
No, I-
Racists don't get to
I
finish their
am a
conversation.
racist, but
No, I
they had names applied to them, and they've kind of decided. Now people can they decide like what
Right.
the name is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Even
Right.
though like at some times like other people culturally might have whatever this
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that. There's a more
I don't-
appropriate.
I don't blame the church coming out and saying that.
Right.
Obviously, you've got to build a culture first, and I think that's what transgenders are doing. They're trying to build a culture, right?
Right.
But you can't like demand that everyone, do that. Like
Yeah.
it's just got to take a life of its own.
Well, and I don't think they've been so demanding. I think they've just said we would like this.
I've been corrected maybe once or twice, but for the most
Yeah.
part, people don't.
I was corrected once about 3 minutes ago when two of my best friends. So, anyways, my point of bringing this up is that there are
Indeed.
Beagle went on a mission. You grew up in the church, I think. Did you grow up like from age 8? Got
Yep.
baptized and everything? Okay.
Yep.
Went on a mission, and then after your mission is kind of when all this went down, where you saw your bishop and discussed removing the. But I just want to kind of get a context with people like where you were at in your life. It wasn't like you were 11 and you went to your bishop and were like,
Right.
I'm out.
Yeah, no.
You'd had a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you pretty much, it was like right after your mission
Yep.
that you
It
were
was
like, I'm out of
within
here.
a month. Within a month, I was a very strong skeptic. Within 2 months, I was agnostic. Within 3 months, I was an atheist. Yep.
Yeah.
It was
Was
fast.
that down the spiral or up the spiral? I'm
It was
just
a
teasing.
lateral. It was a lateral move.
Just teasing. So
It's a lateral.
It was a lateral move. But
Everyone benefited. Mormons benefited. Everyone made out clean.
So was the decision made while you were on your mission? Then?
No.
Oh
no.
wow. So it was a quick. It was
No, I always tell people, like, when I got home from my mission, I was like, how do people listen to like the message of that Mormons bring, the missionaries bring? How do they listen to it and not, like, it seems so obvious to me that this
Right.
was the truth, right?
right.
And I did a lot of studying on my mission and everything. And I think for the most part, when I did the studying, whenever there was a question or something that didn't make sense to me, or, you know, that might have made the church or just religion in general look bad, I think I just kind of put it up on a shelf. Like, that's not for me right now. Not going to worry about it. Not going to think about it.
Right.
Just going to keep doing my thing. And then when I got home,
The shelf fell
I don't know.
over.
There was, I mean, I've always said this. I do think that the church would benefit greatly. Here I am, an atheist, trying to help you guys out.
Help us,
Jeez.
Beagle.
Stupid. You don't even
Give
deserve
us your
this
3
help.
cents.
We don't
But I
deserve
think
it.
that Mormons would greatly benefit if they had an MTC when you came home.
Oh, like a transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
A
Because
missionary transition center.
I always described coming home from my mission the way that, you know, in Shawshank Redemption, when Red is talking about how Brooks killed himself. And he's just like, you know, when you came to prison, it was scary and dangerous, but then you get used to it and you have your role and you have your purpose in prison. And then you're pushed back into the real world, and in the real world, you're a nobody, right?
Right.
And you don't really have, like, your purpose is insignificant compared to what you were just doing.
Yeah.
And it's so desensitive, like, I forget the word that he used. Institutionalized. You're very institutionalized when you're on your mission.
Right.
And once you get off of that, it's just like, how do you not go through depression?
Right.
Like,
It's
it's the same thing with like doctors. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to be a doctor who retires.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you just saved, you know, countless lives, people, helped people. Like, people will show up in tears to
Yeah.
thank you,
Right.
you know, for this very, small part that you had in their lives. And you don't get that anymore.
I
and it's
completely
gotta
agree.
be just the most disorienting, like, oh, I'm not saving lives anymore.
Or
Who am I?
police officer or a fireman or
Yeah.
or
military. They've got
military.
debriefing.
Yep.
you know.
Well,
Yeah.
the interesting thing, because you brought up Shawshank Redemption, even there, they have kind of like a halfway house and a program. Like, this is where you're going to go stay. We've got a job set
Right.
up for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Like, there's not even anything like that for a missionary. Like,
Right. It's
you,
just,
you live
here's your
this
family.
really strict, really dedicated life with tons of focus, tons of effort for 2 years. And then you come home and they're like, you're done. Do whatever you want.
Time to go sell
And it's
alarms.
like, yeah.
And it was even more so, like, I mean, I don't know how common this is, but like when I left, I'm the youngest in my family, and nobody was married when I left,
Oh wow.
and everyone was pretty much at home. And so I
Of
leave.
your friends, you mean? None of the friends.
Friends, family, whatever. I came home. Everyone's freaking gone. Everyone's married, gone, have their own lives, and it's just like,
and you're like, let's go play
it's
some.
just very, very disorienting.
You're like, let's play some Halo, guys. We're like, no.
No,
My wife
I've
says
got a
no,
wife.
sorry.
My 1-year-old is staying up late. It's-
I'm gonna change diapers.
So it was, you know, I mean, I wouldn't say that that was the reason that I left the church, but I was definitely very depressed and very disoriented.
I think it's a great idea, even if it was like a few weeks or something, or a week of like, hey, you came back, you go, back into this a program to help you guys get settled and kind of a debriefing, you know,
Right.
like the military.
Yeah. Well, like I got home and either that, no, it was late. So we didn't do it that night. So the next morning, you know, Christopher Nolan was like my favorite director at the time, and Batman Begins came out when I was on my mission.
Wow.
So I was like really excited to see that. And so we went down, like the whole family went down. We watched Batman Begins, and I was just like, the whole time, that's a great freaking movie. It's actually my favorite of those three that he did. But the first time I watched it, the whole time I was just like, what am I doing? What am I?
You're wasting
watching
your
a
time.
freaking film. Like, what is this?
You
like,
felt
what
guilty, you're
purpose? Not, I wouldn't say guilt necessarily. It's more of just like, I was like in my head saving people's like eternities. And now I'm like watching a film. I felt like
This
just,
is so insignificant.
yeah,
Wow.
it was just like, what is this? Like, do people really spend their time doing this? This is so unfulfilling, just unsatisfied.
That is awesome, actually. And what I'm saying about that is awesome is because that is something that I never knew that you went through. And I literally just got chills because I'm like, I actually understand you a lot better because I never experienced that myself going on a mission. And I know you guys did go on a mission and maybe have a little more reality on it, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Like, you have dedicated the scope of existence you were operating off of was literally eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're watching Batman punch other people in the face. And you're not even in the fight. You're just watching it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's pretend.
And it's not
Right.
even real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it 100%. And
And so, like, just to tag on to what you were saying, like, if you could just bring people in from their mission and just be like, hey, you just did some really important stuff. You're about to do a lot of stuff that's not as important,
Right.
you know, and that's okay.
Or maybe just
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You just need to settle into what life is going to be going forward.
just a reality check kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like you come in, you're like, we appreciate what you did. You did so many amazing things. Here's what, you know, you did this, you did this, you did this. Thank you so much for serving the Lord. You're going to be shifting into another phase of your life. And here's
go
what
play
you can,
Halo.
here's what you can do to continue that. You know what I mean? Give them
Yeah,
some guidance of find someone.
Not
start a
everything that
family.
you do has to be the most important thing ever.
Right.
yeah.
You've done the Lord's work and we appreciate it.
Well, and
And this is why I'm no longer a Mormon, because I'm smarter than Mormon God.
Oh God.
Sorry,
no,
we
but
have what we
I
were
was just
say.
going to say, along those lines, like when you're on a mission, usually you're outside, not usually, I guess a lot of people serve in the United States, but wherever you are, the church might not be like as strong as it is here in Utah, like as established, as organized.
Right.
And a lot of times as a missionary, you're like helping to train bishops and branch presidents
Right. Oh,
wow.
and like
Yeah.
serving on their like in their meetings and
Yep.
things and kind of helping guide things along.
Right.
Like you're a big wig. People respect you.
Yep.
And you come home to Utah and it's like they don't even give you a calling.
You're just like
or
you're just
they're
a
like,
fish in the pond. Like,
yeah, they're like, do you want to hand the hymn books out? Like, it really is like,
No, that's exactly my experience. We
Yeah.
would have to like set up the talks. We would do the talks all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we were essentially like bishops for like higher
Right.
ranked.
right.
Yeah.
And you come home and it's just like, it really is like a splash of cold water, or it's weird. It's
Yeah.
like really weird. Like that. For me, that was one of the weirdest times of my whole life was coming home from my mission. So
Wow.
I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of people come back, and from the perspective of other people who have been back from their missions, or, you know, knew a certain individual who served a mission before their mission, seem super weird.
Yeah.
And
Right.
a lot of it is because of probably mental turmoil that they're going through.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a complete shift in gears
Yep.
without the clutch.
Yep.
Wow.
And and I think we all agree, just there's no support there. There's no like,
I mean, family's there, and that's nice. But like another thing that I feel like, and maybe this is just my experience as well within Mormonism, but or maybe it's just like the culture of being a guy. But it's just not viewed as masculine to talk about your feelings.
Yeah.
It's not viewed as masculine to like ask for support. It's not viewed as, you just kind of soldier along. You shut up and you soldier along and you'll get through it. And I don't think that that's a very good culture.
I don't think that's a healthy
That's,
perspective.
yeah.
Bunch of pussies.
Right?
Just kidding. I agree.
I don't know if you guys have listened to like Brene Brown or know who she is, but she talks about like vulnerability and how there's like this big stigma about that word. Like what comes to mind when you think of somebody who's vulnerable? You think of like weakness,
Yeah.
a puppy, somebody in the fetal position,
Sensitive,
sensitive,
maybe.
Naked.
But she talks about how like vulnerable is actually like the strongest word. Because when you're vulnerable, what it really means is like you're stripped down. You are bearing your soul and who you are to the world.
Yeah.
And it takes courage to do that. And so anyways, she's a really good person to listen to. But yeah, there's just growing up in my family, I think in the Mormon culture in Utah and just being a guy in general, maybe it's an America thing. It's probably worldwide. But yeah, there's just like this thing about like, you just don't talk about your feelings. You just soldier on.
And don't show weakness. Don't say, I need help or,
Right.
Yep.
I'm struggling or anything like that.
Right.
But
Yep.
Well, this is amazing. It's already coming to an end here. But I'll tell you what, I personally am very glad that we interviewed you and I found something out about you I never knew. And I think it's made us a better friend,
I agree.
at least from my side.
and now we're all going to kiss. Is there anything like growing up in American Fork? Was there anything in the culture that you grew up in that you would like wish more of, or like you want to change?
That
Or
I would want either
was-
somebody in another city to know about or experience, or that I wouldn't want them to
like
experience.
is
One of the
American
two.
was
Is that what you're
American
saying?
Fork perfect for you? Like, was it the best place on earth to grow up, or
I mean,
could
when
it have
you're
been better?
when you're a kid, I mean, obviously you're asking me as an adult. When I was a kid, I freaking loved it. Everything about American Fork. Growing in the suburbs, growing up with like a huge yard in my backyard. We just played sports all day. The school was like right up the street from me. Like, I don't know. When you're a kid, like everything just is amazing.
So
It
now,
feels like.
would you change anything, or was it great?
I mean, I wish, kind of how we were just talking about, I wish that I grew up with more of a culture that was like, hey, just because you're a man doesn't mean you can't talk about your feelings.
Yeah,
Just kind of stuff like that.
Maybe
I guess.
some more
I don't think that it's
emotional
very
support.
specific to American Fork. It's kind of just like
in general.
yeah.
Yeah.
specifically with American Fork. I don't think so. One thing for sure that's in American Fork that I've noticed as I've grown up, that I feel like there's more stories that come out about teachers sexualizing students.
What?
And that was like, I every time I swear I hear a story about a teacher doing something like that, it's like American Fork.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna
it's
spend, like-
kind of shocking that I went through, I don't know, maybe I wasn't attractive enough.
You were a little let down that like nobody approached you. Is that what you're?
No, I'm not going to say that.
Well, when you guys interview me, we'll dive deep into that
Oh
one.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
Jeff's
it's
got
just,
firsthand
that was
knowledge of
the
this
one
one.
thing about like, I didn't notice it when I was a kid, but as I've grown up, it's just like, wow, there was a lot of like sexualizing kids
It's
in
true.
American Fork.
Especially at
weird.
the junior high.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Oh, thank you.
We
I love you.
Beagle.
I can't speak for these two, but I love you.
I do love you, even though you chose the wrong path to destruction.
And he's talking about vegetarianism.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know which way to take that.
Moving out of American Fork.
It
That's the
better
path
not
to
be about Denis Villeneuve. I don't care if you want to talk trash
Because
about it.
Christopher Nolan
Vegetarianism.
is on a roll.
Final thoughts from Beagle. Boxers or briefs?
I'm just, now that I have Denis in my head again, that's like
If you
my
pick,
boners coming back.
Is
okay,
it coming through boxers or
is it
briefs?
coming- boxers or briefs?
just picture Denise.
They're,
What's he wearing? Boxers or briefs?
Do I have to check for you? Because I will.
No. What is your preference? Boxers or briefs?
briefs.
Oh,
You heard it here first.
It's a good choice.
Well, boxer briefs, actually.
right.
Yeah.
This is getting complicated.
That's what
Jake,
you're,
Yes.
Quit talking.
Sorry.
Everyone shut up. Shut up. Stop laughing.
The end.
Don't know what he said, but I can tell it made you blue. And you wear your heart on your sleeve right where mine is. For you. You don't have to stay here if you don't want to. I can take you anywhere you want where you'll feel safe tonight. And it's alright, girl. I just want you to know that I see you. I just want you to know that I hear you. If that means anything to you, will you let me know? With the windows down and the breeze blowing through your hair, you don't have to say a word if you prefer. You do you. It's alright, girl. I just want you to know that I see you. I just want you to know that I hear you. If that means anything to you, will you let me know? If that means anything